Welcome to another episode of Tru Self, and I'm back with Carina.
Yeah, I'm here, y'all.
I thought of this topic and I was like, yo, Carina's the perfect one to talk to. When we work together, I realized there's so many similarities we have. Way of like, we've been through a lot, so we learn how to not get offended.
Yes, how to navigate. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. How to navigate and then get shit done at the end of the day.
This topic is it's called No Offense. It's going to be really a funny topic to talk about.
Well, it really is, though, because I remember when you first presented it to me, I took it to heart because I was like, people really do get offended by me. So that's something that I'm going to be talking about from a personal level. And then I was like, I fucked with it on other levels too when we were talking about this like culture and things like that. But I was like, this is good.
Are you easily offended? So one of the things, because like a lot of things trigger you when you're an adult and you don't realize where it's coming from. Growing up in a household where they show love in negative ways, which is interesting. Do you know what that is? Like,
yeah, tough love.
Tough love.
That's what I would describe that as, and that's literally my whole upbringing. So I can absolutely relate to that.
My mom would say, I talk about my mom a lot on this podcast, actually.
Yeah, I mean that's the core of it for me too. To be honest, like all of my revelations and my fuck ups that I think personal fuck ups, I think they stem from my relationship with my mom for sure.
Yeah, so like my mom would say, "Oh, you're getting big, you're getting fat," and I used to be like, that used to make me spiral a lot when I was younger. But when I kind of reflect on it, it's like her in a way saying that
she's trying to
you're
look out
getting
for
too
you.
big. Maybe you should stop eating certain things.
Right.
But yeah, that alone would like kind of set me off into a spiral and be like, yo, maybe I am getting big, maybe. And this would like make me not like look at myself the same.
Right. It would feed your insecurities instead of the intent that she set out for you.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like I had to like really do some self-reflection about like the things I got offended by, or like how to learn to not get like kind of triggered by the things family say.
Oh my God, yes. And like with me in my culture, like calling someone skinny, which is seen as a good thing, you would call them flaca, right? And then, so for a while, I thought that I was too skinny because a lot of my family members are voluptuous, they got curves and shit. So I would feel insecure about my weight, but they saw it as a good thing because being flaca, being skinny was like something positive, right? But then when it becomes a nickname and I am insecure about it, like growing up, it definitely was not a positive thing. So I definitely had to unlearn that, I think, as well in my own house.
That's a good point, actually. Like when I lost 30 pounds, my mom would say, "Oh, you're getting too small now." Like girl. I'm like, okay. I feel like that when I was in my 20s, I realized like you really can't make nobody happy.
Oh my goodness.
You really have to be okay with you. Like you really do. Like it's so important. Like I want to point out in this episode, like it isn't your fault that you're offended. Like it's just the things that people say just like kind of like strips away at you, and you don't even realize it's coming from that place. Like someone could say something 10 years ago and the shit hits you. Why isn't that negative comment stick to you than positive ones?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I really want to do a study on this.
Yeah.
I really want to do that.
In that episode, in that show that I was telling you about called Couples Therapy, this has been my therapy so far in watching this show. They were talking about how sometimes when we have conversations with other people, they're unfinished conversations from people in our past. Like we will like continue them, like we can be triggered by something and then continue that conversation or that feeling based off of something that could have happened like 10 years ago.
Wow.
That shit just hit me where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could be talking to someone and be triggered by something because I never like resolved it from my past.
Yeah, so I did say that it could be something deeper. Sometimes being offended isn't your fault. It could be something deeper. I had to learn how to take compliments and shady comments and notice what someone is really saying. Because Like even like recently, like my mom friend was like, "Oh, you're getting big." I was like, I had to catch myself. I was like, I know where she's coming from. Okay, you haven't seen me in a while. Cool.
Right.
Like it's just this how Jamaicans and Caribbean people just talk. Realize that trait had trickled on to me. Like I would notice someone is getting bigger, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, they got big!" Like they got fatter. Like
Right. Like
and
it
then
became a part of your
it
language.
became part of me. Yes. I just recently saw somebody was like, "Whatever you see in yourself, other people are not seeing it."
100%. Almost them projecting, I feel like their own insecurities in a way too, if something is noticed. Yeah. I feel like sometimes they got nothing to do with you.
Right. Right. And they don't even realize that you're hurting someone's feelings. Like
Right.
And they're picking things out, or you're saying something about yourself. I get it, but like if someone's saying something to you, they don't even realize that they're hurting your feelings. They're just speaking out loud without thinking.
100%.
That's
like basically. I would literally not see my family, and then for a holiday, maybe like Thanksgiving, they will yell across the room like "Flaca," and I'm like, okay, well.
Oh no.
But you know, since I know it comes from a place of love now, I'm just like, you know, what's up? I'm very calm about it.
So we have 4 questions again. 4 for 4. So how was it growing up and realizing what being offended was?
Okay, so I feel like when I was young, I was very closed off. I feel like a lot of things like that had traumatized me when I was younger had affected my sense of self, and I really didn't think I was like attractive at all. I was very insecure. So I think that I was offended by a lot of things when I was younger, and I kind of didn't have like healthy ways of dealing with it. So I would kind of like internalize everything, and like super aggressive and whatever for no reason. Like I would be very like I didn't know how to internalize things, so I would be very like quick and kind of like aggressive.
Oh wow.
And way more than I am now. Like now I kind of center myself and I look at the situation for what it is. But I think that if someone said something to me before and I was offended by it, I would be like witty, or I would be like quick to come with the comebacks.
You learn how to be witty and come with. I've heard that before. Like my friend said, like a lot of kids teased him, and he had to learn how to roast people's asses. Like
100%. That was me. I'm like, that's why you fill in the blank.
So that goes into my next question too. Like, what was your definition of having thick skin? What it meant to you to have thick skin?
Ooh, I think that that makes me think of growing up with my mom and stuff, where I feel like she said that, or she didn't directly say it, but the vibe was like showing emotions is weakness. So I think instead of showing emotions, I would just learn how to use my words in like a quick-witted way. So, but later on, I'm like, that was also me showing my emotions in a different way.
Yeah, I see that. Have you like learned how to what boundaries have you set for like certain comments? Have you done that yet?
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think of like what offends me now. I think now I'm kind of really in tune myself and really on one trajectory of all my goals. So because of that, like things just bounce off of me now.
Yeah.
Where before I would kind of like feel like I needed a response for everything. Now I pick and choose based off of what is important to me. Like based off of like now I can't stand bullying. So like if I see someone else getting bullied, I feel like I need to say something and stand up for that. Like I feel like, does this align with my values and who I am? That's how I respond now.
Oh wow, that's a good one. It's like that's true when you said like you have to learn what offends you now with the whole boundaries, because there are still some things, even though I don't get as offended as I used to, but there are some things that I'm still sensitive to, and you really do have to be in tune with yourself to see like what someone is actually saying and what they actually mean for you to get offended by. That's one of the things. And like with working with you, I realized like there was a lot of things that you were just like, I really don't care.
Told you, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You were just like, I really don't care. It was like one instance that happened, and oh yeah, you called me and asked me if something was done.
Yeah.
And all the stitches was working on the particular piece, and I just like on the phone and I was like, oh, is it done? You guys close to being done? And they like turned around and it was no. And I was like, okay. And I like walked off. And then later on, one of the stitchers came to me and was like, oh, I hope he wasn't offended by how we said no. I was like, no. Like,
yeah, you're like, it wasn't done.
It was not that serious. Like, I get that they were in a rush. Yeah. Like, you have to know that whole story to know, like, before you get offended by it.
Right. Like, they were probably anxious about the situation and probably internally, like, maybe their heart was beating. Maybe they felt overly emotional about it. Yeah. So they thought that they projected that onto you.
Yeah. So that was interesting to catch that. I was just like, girl, I legit was like, girl, I'm not easily offended. You're right. Like you're okay. Yeah. It's so crazy because like growing up in like any Caribbean household, you realize you think all this is normal.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yes, it really is normalized.
And I had to really like, there's so many things that I did get from my mom that I had to be like, nope, that's not even right. No, that's not even right. Let me not do that.
Unlearning, girl.
Unlearning is like such a word for real.
Okay, so can I ask you a question back based off of the dialogue? Cool. Okay, so what are your what are your boundaries you set now in like your own household? And I ask you that because like I told you, I'm still learning with my family now, like and setting my boundaries and things like that. But I guess specifically in like triggers and things that they say, like for me now, like flaca is not a big deal. Like now if my grandma's like flaca, I'm like, you know, I take it as like an endearing thing because I know where she's coming from.
Yeah.
So like, what are the boundaries that you set, or like what's your processes, I guess?
It took me a long time to not get offended about like my career path. Yeah. Because I had to kind of learn how to like, they're not in this business, so they don't know what they're talking about.
Oh my God, girl, yes. I'm like, y'all really don't get it, huh? They be saying shit and I'm like, oh, you don't. And then explaining it as a whole world, forget it.
Yeah, like, because even with my younger sister, she tries to be like, oh, like, what's going on? Like, I'd be like, you don't know this world. This world is just a lot of ups and downs, and it's like, kind of have to like let that type of stuff roll off of me,
right?
Because no one knows like what it's like to be freelance or entrepreneur, so they have no right to make a judgment. So that stuff should not even be affecting me like it used to anymore.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're the first to do it, but in this way, you know, like.
Absolutely.
Like you're the first to do it, and like even I used to get like kind of like being at graduations used to like kind of make me upset a little bit, and then I realized like, yo, like it's all right. Like this path is for someone else, and it's not really for you, and you have to be so secure with yourself and your specific path to not let a lot of other people's successes offend you too. You know what I mean?
Like just being happy for the people around you, even if they don't know how to be happy for you.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Right.
Because a lot of stuff that's a big deal for me is not a big deal for them.
Right. They don't understand that as a freelancer, like even you getting one client is a big fucking deal.
I'm telling you.
It is because because they don't see the work that you put in.
Yeah.
So when the person even notices, you're like, yes, like you get it.
Yeah.
And that's a big win. It really is.
Yeah. Even just doing a small film or a commercial or something, that's super huge for me. And no one sees how huge it is. You're just like, and you really have to be okay with not getting the praise and the recognition. Also, 100%. Not getting offended by getting that is, you have to realize that too. Like you got to shrug it off because they shrugging it off too. So that's why I don't share a lot too, because they don't get it.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna get it. So it's always important for me to kind of be okay with that. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
No, it makes sense because it really stems like what you're saying from being secure in yourself and knowing that you're on the right path and just being secure.
Because I feel like God revealed it time and time again. I'm on the right path. I'm on the path for me. And if I even like wither left or right, there's another sign coming my way.
100%.
Every single time. Like I don't have, oh my God, I think I was feeling away too recently and I was like, oh, what's going on? And then I got the email about the film I did. I was like, it's out. I feel good now.
Oh my God, that's
all
amazing.
over again. So the last one is, what is your question to the listeners and like about how to handle about being offended?
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about this prior, so I'm really excited for this question. Okay, so I think that you need to deep dive into your fears and being offended.
Okay, Sister Carina.
You know, because I think that being offended is a little bit about being scared. And I think it comes from like not understanding that fear a little bit.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I welcome people to think about your fears. Like the question is, what are your fears and how do they relate to what offends you? Like deep dive into that.
Yeah. Ooh, say it one more time so I can get it together.
Okay. Okay, so what are your fears and how do they relate to what offends you? Just deep dive into that.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. I love this is like short and nice. Yeah, thank you for coming on again. I'm pretty sure we'll think of something else to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%. Probably as we hang out right now.
We'll probably record another one after this. I appreciate you so much and thank you for listening to Tru Self.